Good morning, traders. This is Professor 1970. It's May 26, 2023. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm excited. One of my favorite weekends of the year. Um, it's a beautiful morning here in Atlanta. Wanted to actually do a other video for you since I haven't done one for a while. I've got a lot of new followers. So please subscribe. Please like this video. Give me your comments. It's important. It's why I do them. I want to go over how I'm going to draw some lines for you today that are going to be good for next week, show you exactly how I do it, why I do it, and go over some of my settings and basically kind of update you on how I do things. Right here, what we have is a weekly chart of SPY. This is the Ichumuko cloud. By the way, guys, I chart in TC 2000. Get a lot of questions on that. Why don't you chart ES or futures since that's what you trade? It's because TC 2000 does not do futures. This is a program that I'm comfortable with, that I've been using for a long time. I understand it. It's very easy. So I have no problem charting in this and then trading. I trade a couple different brokerages where I trade futures in. And I'll show you how I do my conversions. How I take SPY and move it to a futures number if I need to. It's very simple, actually. But just wanted to go over the cloud for a minute, what my settings are. Guys, I use standard settings. First off, I turn off extended trading, and then I use standard settings, okay? Which is basically the turning period is 9, standard period is 26, span B is 52. What I do is I turn off all the lines. What this shaded area is the shaded area between the leading span A and the leading span B. All right. This is what a leading span A looks like. This is what a leading span B looks like. You can see sometimes it crosses over. I don't care about the crosses. I don't care about the leading lines. When you first put up the cloud as an indicator, it looks something like this on your chart. A lot of lines. Yes, there are very good experts out there that know exactly how to read these things. I'm a visual person. I like clean lines. I like simplicity. That's why I was looking for something that I could use that was simple, where I didn't have to look at 9,000 lines. So I what I like doing is just using the shaded part of the cloud. Okay. What the cloud is made up, I get this quite a bit. You can look it up on Investopedia. It's very simple, guys. It's made up of a whole bunch of moving averages, a 9 period moving average, a 26 period moving average, a 50-day period moving average. It takes the high and the low and takes averages of those moving averages. Then it does a whole lot of math. It's almost like a algorithm. Go figure. Kind of sounds like one. It's in the simplest form, where it just takes all the major moving averages and combines it in a formula that provides these cloud levels. And then the way I do it, the way I draw my lines, so it takes all these and then it plots a cloud in the future as well. I don't actually use the futuristic part. I like using the historic part, and I'm going to go over that, how that works and why that works. So anyway, stay tuned. Here we go. So anyway, this is my settings. This is what the chart looks like. Here's a weekly cloud. You can actually see that for the first time since really back in June, we'll say 2020, we are actually trying to enter back through the cloud. We may see a few tests. It may go up, it may go down, may go up, may go down. And what I do here is I'm ignoring the noise. I'm ignoring the debt ceiling noise. I'm ignoring the credit noise that may be forthcoming. I am ignoring all the noise. I'm just looking at my charts. I'm just looking at where the price action is, looking where my lines are. We're our worst. We all want to be analysts, and and as do I. But it always keeps me from, trading as I should, just, seeing what's in front of me, really. If you're able to ignore all the noise, you're kind of better off. I do think that we're going to have issues this summer, speaking of it, because of the credit tightness and the liquidity issues and the commercial real estate market. But the market knows better than I do. So I really need to pay attention to the market and just react when that time comes. So right now we're trading through the weekly chart, and we get a debt ceiling deal. We may see get some initial reaction to going up, and then over time as things settle, then we're gonna start trading again, and we may see a retest of the weekly cloud. If we trade back through it down here, then we'll react to it. If it does keep going up, we'll react to it. So anyway, so here's the weekly cloud. You can kind of see if I go back to 07, 08, you can see the runs once a cloud has entered long through the cloud. The runs have been impressive here from 2012, big bull market, to 2016. Then we had a little blip right here, then another one. Then here's another one in 2019, and another one. This is COVID right here. And then look at the V recovery and boom to new highs. And now we're here testing this weekly cloud again. Now, this is it's been a lot of back and forth, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of give you a big picture stuff. But what I like to do is I use the cloud on a daily, only on a daily level. And here's how I draw my lines, okay? Current price action. I'm going to for a minute turn on pre-market just so I know where the levels are, okay? The level right now is at 415.40. Okay, so I'm going to use that as my basis. That's where the price action is. All right, I'm going to turn off my my pre-market, and now what I'm looking at, here's my daily cloud. Here's the recent price action. By the way, these white candles are volume candles that are less than the average. The red and green levels are volume candles that are higher. Just so you know. Anyway, so what I do now is, this is the future cloud. Here's cloud down below. Here's the daily. I am going to go back to the most left-handed cloud area, and I'm going to use that part of the cloud until either price trades down. Let me just go down here. Trades down to the next cloud level, which in this case would be here. Right here, because price is up here and the closest cloud below is going to be here. Or if price gets past this period right here, like we are trading over here and starts trading in here, then I use this cloud area that will be inside the cloud, which is a little different than using a cloud to the left. But right now, because price action is way over here, we're going to use the cloud way over here. So I'm actually going to scroll right here. Oh, look at that. I only have a few things to the upside. So what I would have to do is, since right now, I'm going to actually zoom in to this cloud level, okay? And I am going to start looking for flat parts and breaks in the cloud, okay? These flat parts are formed by price action in the past, because remember, these cloud lines were printed in the future based on historic price action, where it may have been, a long period like this is typically where price action spend a lot of time. So it's going to act as more support. The longer the flat line, the more likely we're going to either get a pivot point, which means a reversal, or we're going to get a lot of touches back and forth on that line, or there may be a period of compression on that line, forming a base before we move higher. That's how you use these lines. These lines, sometimes they only have one touch before they reverse. If they blow through a line, which happens on news events sometimes, it is most likely that we are immediately going to test the next line if we just blow through it. So those are, if lines are very close together, those are typical things to look at. So anyway, right now, I'm going to start drawing the lines. I'm going to start with the top of this particular cloud level, which is going to be right there. So I'm going to try to move this line as close as I can. Okay, I'll just kind of even zoom in more, as close as I can to this period. And now I'm going to look for the next little touches to the bottom, which are going to be, there's one here. Okay, right there. I'm going to even can go A little bit lower like that. I'm trying to do this quickly so I don't spend all this time. Okay, there's another one here. Okay, and you know, right here that maybe one is so small, but I like looking for the points. So there's a point. Oop. There's a point. Okay. Then there's one. There's one on this side, and there's also one on this side just below it, right? Kind of right there. Right there. Okay, and then another one here. Right there. Okay, and then we have one here on this point, which kind of matches that one. So let me see where I am compared to this top of the cloud. Oh, you can kind of see I've been drawing them from this time period right here, and you can see this last line hit this top of the cloud. So then my next lines, so I'm done here. I'm not going to draw any more lines below here because this cloud is more recent and more important. So now I'm going to use this cloud line below here to draw the additional lines. So now I start using all these points, boom, right here. And then the next one, you can kind of see it's a big drop because these walls are smooth. So the next one would be right in here. I can zoom in to kind of show you more. Okay, so there's one there. The next one would be on this period. And now we have one here. Actually, there's one above it. So I got to kind of actually use that one. So now I'm going to use this part of the cloud. Okay, so one there because of this line right here. I'm not even looking over here, just using this right here until I get to that. All right, and there's one there right here at that period, and then another one here. Okay, ignoring all this over here. All right, and I'll just leave it at that for right now. And there would be one here, one there, and then the last one would be, I'll just actually draw them just so I can show you. So here's one, right, on this part, and there's one just below it. Okay, and then I'm going to draw one here on this line. Now, let me go back and look. You can obviously, if price action was right here or right up here, then all these would be valid. But this line is not going to be valid anymore down here because we're trading way over here. And once it would hit down over here, these clouds become more valid. So I would have to use this line. You know, actually, because actually all these lines can go right here. Does that make sense? Because none of those are going to be valid lines anymore, because once we trade below this line right here, we're going to probably be over here, and we're going to be in this cloud. So in other words, we're going to have to use this line here and here and there. Once we're inside of a cloud with a future with this, I only use the left hand side. I do draw white lines on stuff once we're inside the cloud on the right hand side, but right now it's like here would be one, but right now I'm leaving that alone. I mean, I can draw this one because it does have a little mark right there. Okay, so pretty straightforward. So you can kind of see that's the lines to the downside, right? Normally when I have a long flat line like this one, I like to make him yellow. So I'll make that one yellow. I don't see many other major flat lines. So this is kind of what it looks like to the downside. So I used this one all the way down to here until we trade it to about right this level here, right? And then I started using the clouds over here. And the reason why I didn't extend further past this line right here is because if price action were to trade down in here, I'd have to start using this part of the cloud. This one becomes no longer. Okay, only to the upside will it, once it trades back above, then it'll become valid again. So far I haven't done any to the upside. This is my top cloud. I can show you kind of what it looks like. We just drew all those lines and look how accurate it is. I mean, okay, there we go. You can see, look at this price action. I mean, we drew this, by the way, when we drew these lines back here, look at the dates that we use. This is back from October price action. This one's back from March, April price action. Okay, we're not using current price action. We're looking back from September, October. So let's see how these lines just did, just for fun. You can kind of see, you know, I mean, those who follow me have seen this a ton of time. This is the the highest one we traded. This is on a 5-minute chart, but you can see how well these lines related. We have pops up here. We had a test down. Lots of action between these two lines, up, down. You can see sometimes it kind of breaks through and you have to wait for confirmation. Like this trade right here, I may have taken that long thinking that was going up here, and then it failed to trade it back down. So that probably would have been a loss. But, you have to kind of gauge and see and use some other indicators how well it works. Sometimes it doesn't trade all the way down. You can kind of look in the past and see, okay, only had one touch, so maybe not. We'll just have to see what's going on. But you can kind of gauge, we're most like when it's down here, we're most likely going to revisit this. And then finally we break through right here, boom, to the next line. So now let's go back to the daily. All right, let me make it bigger again. I don't want to spend too much time on this because the video gets too long. So hopefully you guys are still with me. All right, we're at, the last line we took was this right here. So the most left-handed cloud now becomes over here. So now I have to start drawing as price action increases. We start using the data from last May, June, July, all these right here. So we're going to zoom in over to this section and we're going to start drawing more lines. Okay, there's a small one right there. It's a nice little one. All right, there's a point right there, so I'm going to use that. All right, right there. And I'll go back and try to get these more. This is not one here because remember, this line was from the last one to the right, so this point is invalid. All right, and then we have a nice yellow line right here, which is, I think you guys have heard me talk about 421.32. I've been waiting on it. Just haven't gotten there. But I think we will eventually at some point. And then, here another nice yellow line right there if we get through it. Okay, and I could just keep drawing as many as I want. So I don't like having too many lines on here, but I'll just finish these to the top of what the current price action is. So we can kind of see how these lines have performed. Okay, down here's another one. All right, and then the last one is over here on this little section right there. All right, and then we have one. We'll leave that one as our last one. That's a yellow line too. It's nice and flat and a little longer. All right, so there are all my lines until price action reaches above that or reaches below that. Sometimes I adjust them a little bit. But really you don't need to. So anyway, so these are the lines on the daily. I now go to 5-minute or 1 minute. We can take a look at the 1 minute right now. I can turn on pre-market right now. Now I can turn on pre-market now that I drew the lines. See kind of where the action has been. We've kind of been bouncing right in between these two lines. So it's kind of in no man's territory. We can test 416.20, trade right back to 413.43. The top of the weekly, I do like trading that. I do like holding that because sometimes we test it. This is the weekly. It's, let me go into so here's the weekly. Right about there. Hold on, you have to really zoom in on the weekly just because there's so much play. You have to just kind of wait till it highlights. Okay. All right, that's close enough for me. So there's your weekly. So now you have your one weekly, which is 44.10. You can kind of see how price action did. I'm just going to go to a 15-minute chart just so we can get more lines on here and kind of see what it's done. All right, this is on a 15-minute basis, and you can kind of see how the lines have done, where the lines have been. We traded up, traded off of them. We tried to test that 421.32, but right now it's been acting as resistance. So it kind of gives you the picture, okay? And here it is on the 5-minute chart. This is This is kind of pre-market action. You can see yesterday we traded right to that 416.20, sold off. I mean, we tested this 413.43 a couple times. We bounced between these two lines. I mean, to the penny. This is how I sometimes can get close to the penny. All right, so here are all my lines. I got pre-market on right now. We're trading right now around, so now All right, that's great. You got SPY, but you trade futures. So how do I know what price action is? Okay. Well, right now we are at 415.68, right? I'm going to draw a line there. 415, we'll just call it 67. Okay. I'm going to make it white just so that I know it's not a blue line. All right. I'm going to look over at futures and I'm going to see that the current price on futures are 4170. All right. 4170. And you can, I can see that because I have it right there. So 4170. So, okay. So I'm going to just draw, or I'm going to just type in 4170. And now I can use, so for every, so the next line is, so basically for every point that SPY moves, it's about 10 points for futures. So if I take 416.20, right, which is my SPY, this is how I get my numbers. And this changes daily because futures is a direct correlation of SPX, not SPY. And sometimes it trades perfectly and sometimes it does not. It's like, I don't know what causes it to be off sometimes, but, it changes. So every day you have to do this. So 416.20 minus 415.66 is a difference of 0.54, which is basically 5.4 points. So basically I would add 4170 to 5.4, right? Which gives me 4175.4. Well, it can only trade either 0.5 or 0.25. Since I'm below it, I like going just a little less. So I take 41725 to get that number. And I do the same thing for these other ones. So I take 41820 minus 416.20. So 418.20 minus 416.20, all right, is 2, which is, so that's 2 points, which is 20 points on future. So I add 20 points to this. So that line becomes 419525, okay? And I do the same thing to the downside. I take 415 minus 0.66 minus 414.10. 415.66 minus 414.10 is 1.56, so that's 15.6 points. So I take 4170 minus 15.6 equals 4154.40. Let me draw that one. 4154, and I'm just going to make it 50. Okay. Yesterday's line was 51.55. So anyway, and then you just do that for your lines of what you think your range is. That's it, guys. It's that. That's it. Now I wait. All right. Now we are waiting on debt ceiling stuff and so forth. I haven't looked at the news as of late. We had some economic news. There's consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. The Michigan inflation expectations are coming out as well. And obviously the debt ceiling. If we don't get a debt ceiling by the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to react. I'm just going to react to the market. Right now, if I get a run up to 416.20 and I see a downturn, I may take that short. I'm going to change this, actually, this moving average. I didn't realize I had this on here, but I like having a simple moving average or period at 50, and I use that on the 1 minute, actually. So I'm going to get rid of this white line because I don't need it. It's not one of my lines. You will see typically when you have this 50, this is VWAP, when you have this 50-day moving average on the 1 minute, when we're trending, we extend it, but we always seem to come back to it. So I kind of use that when I'm near a level to see if, hey, am I turning down? Am I not turning? Is it going to keep going, or where are we? I also use the one-up indicator on one option that is paid. It's a great indicator. They have a great, they got 300 traders in that room. Harry's in that room. Pete's in that room. Dave's in that room. I'm in that room in and out, but it's a great professional trading room, if you will. And I believe that there's free trials in there if you want to take a look, but it's not for a inexperienced trader. It's for people that know what they're doing. But you can also learn quite a bit in it. So anyway, so that's kind of how it works. So in a nutshell, we use price action of the past that plots a cloud in the future. Then I use that future cloud, but based in the future cloud is the future cloud. How do I say this? So I use the price action. See where the current price action is. Hold on, I'm in the wrong. That's why. Okay. I see where the current price action is, which, right now is around this level. I go back to where the cloud was of current cloud action to the left, which was around this level right here. Okay. So I'm using basically this cloud was formed based on this price action, back here. So I'm using a future cloud based on price action before then to trade current action. I know it sounds bizarre, but it works. I mean, it's proven over and over and over again. This is the power of the cloud. You won't find this anywhere on the internet. I discovered it accidentally. I've been doing it over a year. It's been dead on. The hard part sometimes is gauging the direction, but is what you need to do next, or we all need to do next, is figuring out the best way to figure out direction. If we solve that, we're billionaires, obviously. But use your cloud lines as targets. Use them as pivot points. Use them as points of compression. You can look back and see. All right, if you go to a 15-minute chart, okay, I can see. All right, here 417.75. Well, what did that price action do in the past? All right, I can see it traded here. So last time, it was here. Let's see, back here. No, you just kind of have to look. I mean, you have to use some common sense. Use what's available to you and make a decision and make it fast. There's a lot of times where I manage my risk. Okay, let's say this is trading right now at 416.30. It's 10 cents above. All right. If I think it's going to keep going to the next line for whatever reason, here, I could take that trade and put a stop. Okay, where would I put my stop? Well, where was the price action before? It was right around here. So I may put a stop around this 415, I don't know, we'll call it 415.20 level if it's trading right here. Is that worth a 10-point risk for it to go up there? How confident do I feel? These are decisions you need to make quick. That's what makes a trader. All right, you can see we're kind of turning down now. We've, right here we had some volume to the downside, some volume to the upside. Market's getting ready to open. Right now we're just waiting for the open, basically. We're probably going to be lingering here in this zone. Sometimes I draw zones. I say, okay, this has been the zone in pre-market, and I just leave that up. So I wait to even trade below it, and then maybe it'll test VWAP for a quick scalp or a quick move to one of my blue lines. Because right now we're in a scalping environment. We're so news-based that there's been no consistency. There's been hardly any trends. Every headline moves the market one way or another. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I hope I covered everything. Trying to think if there's anything else. If there is anything else you want me to go over, please post it in the comments and I'll do a video on it. I'll answer your questions through video next week. So any question that you have, as long as they're, valid questions. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please like, please subscribe. See how we're going to test this period right here. So right now, 415.77, dropping to 415.23. Okay, that's 5 points on ES. That's $250 on one contract from here to here if it goes. I wouldn't have taken this trade right now. Right now we're just chopping, so I would just leave this alone until right now we're above VWAP. So right now I would be looking to have VWAP break down, test this level to see if I'm willing to go short. But so much depends on headlines. So it's a really difficult trading environment right now. It really is. You have to be spot on perfect. All right, guys. Take care.